In the last decades, a true spiritual revolution has been announced over and over again. In order to realize it, teachings and techniques considered to be up-to-date, original, and adapted to the new age have emerged. People talk non-stop about paradigm shifts. But are these teachings and techniques really new, original, and revolutionary? Although the holistic world and the current spirituality include many lines of thought, one idea is fundamental to them all: destroying the ego. There is nothing new, original, or revolutionary about this idea. This idea has been absorbed from old Christianity, and without people realizing that, it has been keeping mankind stuck in the spiritual pattern of guilt and low self-esteem that has been present for the last 2,000 years. When everybody thinks the same way, when everybody repeats the same idea, it is difficult for us to open ourselves to other perspectives. But I ask you, please, to give me an opportunity to show you another reality, a reality in which you are perfect, just the way you are. I'm Cavalher. In the first video of this series, we saw that the holistic world preaches that the ego is an obstacle for the spiritual development. The reasons why the ego would be a negative thing have all been absorbed from Christianity, that is 2,000 years old and is zero in tune with the New Age. The classical reasons used to justify this crusade against the ego are selfishness, vanity, and pride. It is very easy to see that these ideas came from Christianity. Vanity and pride are some of Christianity's 7 deadly sins. The holistic world copied that directly. It has not even changed the words: copy and paste. Selfishness was not a direct copy, but Christianity teaches that you cannot satisfy your desires. You cannot do what you want. For instance, some of the deadly sins are gluttony. You can't eat freely whatever you desire. Greed. You can't have freely whatever you desire. Lust. You can't have sex freely with whomever you desire. And you can't even be mad at that, because wrath is also a deadly sin. If you can't satisfy your desires, you can't be selfish. The holistic world copied the Christian prohibition against selfishness indirectly. That is a very high level of repression. I can't believe in a spirituality based on repression. Can you? The holistic world and many current spiritual perspectives claim that there is another reason why the ego should be murdered. They preach that the ego promotes separateness, a separation between the human being and transcendence, as well as a separation among human beings. This idea is extremely Christian and very, very old. In fact, this idea is the very foundation of Christianity itself. Christianity uses the myth of the Garden of Eden to preach that when Eve and Adam ate from the forbidden fruit, the fruit of a tree created by God, placed within Eve and Adam's reach, and upon which God called their attention, in that very moment, human beings separated themselves from God. Christianity calls that original sin. According to this idea, you and I, Cavalher, have been born in sin just because Eve and Adam have sinned in the beginning of time, before we even had the chance of sinning all by ourselves. This same idea is in the foundation of the holistic world. It preaches that all people are born with an ego, and that the ego is a terrible problem because it separates you from transcendence. The holistic world repeats Christianity. You are wrong already at birth. Another copy and paste. The ego is the original sin of the holistic world. There is no point in changing the words and keeping the same old ideas. A paradigm shift is only real if the fundamental idea is indeed replaced. Believing that you were born wrong and is apart from transcendence is a complete illusion. Illusions are by no means harmless. Illusions are extremely dangerous. Illusions imprison your consciousness. Illusions are convictions. Convictions that imprison you in illusory realities. This illusion imprisons you in which reality? In a reality in which you are born wrong, separated from transcendence. In this reality, you are forced to correct this big mistake that you are. You must obey the demand to improve yourself non-stop in order to someday be perfect. You need to assault yourself and destroy a part of yourself in order to be in touch with transcendence and loved by God. In this illusory reality, you need to kill your ego. Don't allow this illusion to imprison you. Leave it behind. Destroying illusions is an act of courage, because destroying illusions is destroying convictions that you publicly stood for and seeing the life you have built on this illusion collapse. But destroying illusions is liberating because it opens the access to new realities. When you free yourself from the illusion that you are born wrong and is separated from transcendence, you access the reality of self-love taught by Christ. Yes, Christianity and Christ are completely different things. What kind of reality Christ teaches? Christ teaches to love your neighbor, yes, but before that, He teaches you to love yourself. There is nothing wrong with you. You are not separated from God. It is impossible to be apart from God, since God is omnipresent. Moreover, you are God. At least this is what Christ said. The ego is a divine creation, just like all the elements of the universe. This is the true meaning of the word holistic. All, totality, wholeness. All the elements have their rightful place, their function, and can exist in harmony, including the ego. Assaulting yourself, trying to kill or to destroy a part of yourself won't take you anywhere. Instead of rejecting yourself, love yourself. Instead of killing, love. Love yourself exactly as you are, with an ego. Transcendence is perfect. Transcendence generated the ego. In the next video of this series, I will talk about this idea. For now, it is important to say that as soon as the ego is strong and complete, it is ready to develop consciousness, surrender itself to transcendence, and later create in harmony with transcendence. Through the ego, transcendence sees itself.